All right. Hey, everybody, it's Coach Jill here with Fit Life, and this is our Friday membership call. I'm so glad everybody's here. It's going to be an exciting day today. We're going to make some more fun in the kitchen and give you an update from last week as well. So the chat is open. If you're joining us here live on the webinar, the chat is open, so please feel free to jump in, tell me that you're here, tell me where you're watching from. And if you're watching me on Facebook Live, you can type your questions in the chat on Facebook Live, and I will take your questions. So if you are watching live either place, please type any questions you have along the way, and I will make sure that we get your questions answered first. So I want to give a little update from last week. Last week we were live in the Fit Life kitchen. Today here we're live from the Smart Kitchen. And we are making water kefir today. So last week we made kombucha in the Fit Life kitchen down in San Diego, which was really quite exciting. And it is still brewing. I actually have it right here with me, and I'm going to show you that in a minute. So we're about a week into that fermentation with the kombucha, and I'm excited. It's doing well. I just keep it here on my counter in my kitchen. Let me show you here. I'm actually going to take the towel off so you can see, but it's doing really well. You can see it's still, the SCOBY's in there, and see those little bubbles rising up? You can kind of see those when I move it a little bit. See, there's kind of bubbles rising up. That means that there's fermentation going on, and that's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And I know the SCOBY does not look very appetizing or wonderful, but it's in there doing its job, which is getting up all that sugar. It's feeding itself with the sugar that we put in here. This is sweetened. This is organic sweet tea in here, and so it's eating all the sugar from that sweet tea, and it's making kombucha. So it is going on, and I'll have an update next week when that one is done. So that's exciting. So the kombucha is doing well. And remember that, hey, good morning, Diane. I'm just going to mute you here. Remember, I keep the towel on the top mainly so that it can breathe, because when you ferment, it needs to breathe, and kind of keeps those little, not that I have any in my kitchen, but, you know, should I have any fruit flies, it keeps the fruit flies out of the kombucha. So this is doing really, really well. I'm excited. We'll have more next week, and it'll be ready next week. So that's exciting. So today, we're making water kefir. Hey, Paula, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent, excellent. Coach Paul is joining me. We have Coach Diane as well. She's kind of poking in over there. So this week we're making water kefir, and so many people have not ever heard of water kefir. Oftentimes when I'll say water kefir, everybody thinks of the kefir that you see in the dairy department in the store. And while dairy is dairy kefir is a fermented product, it's not the same as water kefir. They are two completely different cultures. So my preference, and I have had both, I have tasted both. The kefir the milk kefir that you get in the store kind of tastes like, Paula, what would you say it tastes like?
Milk kefir?
Yeah.
Like sour, the worst sour. Ugh.
Yeah, it's not like sour cream, and it's not like yogurt. It's kind of
like sour milk.
Yeah, almost like a sour milk, but it's actually healthy for you. And I know most of the time when, if you have milk in your fridge that goes bad, you open it, it's like, ugh, it's nasty. But this is actually good for you. Milk kefir is actually good for you. But today we're making water kefir. And this is a different grain that we use with this than you use for milk kefir. And these grains can be purchased online. When they come to you, they're usually dehydrated because it's really hard to ship them when they're rehydrated. So you will have to rehydrate those grains. Now the grains that I have, these are my grains here. I've had these grains for, oh gosh, I think I've been making kefir with these grains for about more than 2 years now. So they just keep eating. Now this is about twice the amount you need to make a batch of water kefir. So I just keep feeding my grains. They do well. I rinse them a little bit with filtered water each time that I make a new batch, but they do really well. As long as you keep feeding them, they'll do really well for you. And I actually rehydrated these. A friend of mine gave me these a couple of years ago, and I rehydrated them, and they've been doing very well since. So the first couple of batches that I made with these, when I was rehydrating them, I didn't actually drink that kefir. That was kefir that I actually kind of tossed to the side. So when you do get grains that are dehydrated and you do that process of rehydrating those grains, you want to make sure that you toss maybe the first batch or two until your grains are really, functioning well. And that means that you've been feeding them with sugar. Now, can you put these into a dormant state if you don't want more kefir at that time? Yeah, you can. You actually can. You put them in your fridge with some sugar water. They will continue to feed. They'll kind of go into a dormant state. And it's the same thing with the kombucha scobies. You can put them into a dormant state. Same thing. You put them in your fridge with some of the actual raw kombucha that you make, and they'll survive in the fridge. They go into a dormant state, and then you just reactivate them when you're ready to make kombucha again. So you can save these. And everybody picks on me. I'll show you this because I keep my kombucha scobies in the fridge, and seeing as I'm home today, I'll show you this. And the first time people see this, they're like, "Oh, it looks like brains." Here's my jar. This is all my scobies in here. This is my jar of scobies, and I share these with people. So you don't want to throw this out. Actually, there's people that dehydrate these. These are great when they're dehydrated. They're great chews for your dogs and things like that. So, and I've actually seen a recent article that people were making clothing out of kombucha scobies, and it's like leather. It becomes
really?
Yes. Actually,
Wow.
I have to post the article that I saw. It's actually really cool. It looked like leather clothing. So yeah, so these are my kombucha scobies. I'm gonna put these back in the fridge. But I will tell you that I've had these. Gosh, I started brewing kombucha probably in 2014, and these traveled across the country with me. So these came from Wisconsin with me, and I've shared these with many people. I'm actually going to be sending one up to Northern California very soon for a friend of mine that's up there. So they just live in the fridge. Very simple, very easy. All right, back to water kefir. All right, so I've got my grains in here, really easy. Now, what I've taken is a mason jar. I've got a mason jar here. I've got 8 cups of water in here. Now, here's the key again, and we talked about this last week. This is not tap water. You do not want to use your tap water for this because of the fact that your tap water often contains things like heavy metals, contain fluoride, different chemicals, which, makes it safe to drink, but it's not good for your yeast cultures. So you do not want to use your tap water. I use filtered water for this. So any kind of filtered water is fine. You want to make sure that you're doing that because remember, this is going into your body. So you want to use a filtered water. So this is 8 cups of filtered water here. And this is really simple. This is actually even simpler than making the kombucha. So the next key ingredient, and there's only 2 ingredients to this other than the kefir grains, again, and we used this last week, is our organic sugar. It has to be organic sugar. Has to be. So make sure you spend the extra little money, get the organic sugar with this, okay? So I'm going to take, and because I'm doing 8 cups of water, normally to 4 cups of water, you want to do a 1/4 cup of sugar. So I have 8 cups, so we're going to do a 1/2 cup. So I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of sugar in here. And dump that in here. And I'm sure you all know what sugar looks like going into water, so I'll show you here in a second. But let me just close up my sugar bag here so I don't have sugar all over the floor. Because anybody who knows me knows that I would knock that sugar all over and it'd be all over my floor. Okay, so I've got in here, again, 8 cups of filtered water. I put a 1/2 cup of sugar in here. And now here's the key thing. You got to shake it up. You need to dilute this. It has to be diluted in this water. You do not want to leave grains sitting in there. So you want to just shake it. And it just takes a few minutes. You just keep shaking, and it will dilute for you. You do not use hot water for this. This is cold water in here. This is just cold water, and the sugar will dilute. You just need to shake it. So stand there and do whatever you want, but just shake your sugar up and dilute it. And you'll know when it's completely diluted because you're going to be able to see through the water. It's going to be a little bit of colored water, but it's going to be see-through. So you can see we still have a little bit of sugar left in there, so we just want to keep doing this. So, Paula, do you make water? I know. Here I am shaking my water. Paula, do you make water kefir at home?
I have never made water kefir.
But you've made kombucha, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Diane, how about you? Any experimentation with fermentation in your kitchen?
A long time ago, I tried to make some kefir, and I didn't get good results, but that was years ago.
Okay. Well, we'll have to get you making some water kefir.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I would love that. I would love that. So if you're watching and you have questions, please type your questions in, whether you're on Facebook with us or whether you're watching this webinar live. Please type your questions in. I will take your questions first because you're live with us, and then we'll get to some other questions. And we got some great questions today. I'm excited to answer questions. Okay, so it's just about diluted. And it doesn't take real long, but you just need to make sure that you're getting to that sugar diluted. So why water kefir? Why do you want to put this into your body? Why do you want to drink this? Well, first of all, because this is a fermented beverage, it's going to be full of live probiotic. Paula, why do we need live probiotics?
To keep the good bacteria in your gut and to get rid of the bad bacteria.
Exactly. And, part of the reason is we need the good bacteria. We absolutely need it, but we have no way of making that naturally. Our body does not make the good bacteria naturally. We have to supplement with that. So, and in order to have a balanced digestive system, you need good and bad bacteria. You need both. So you have to actually add the good bacteria in. So maybe you're taking a probiotic supplement, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. We have a great probiotic supplement here that we have at FitLife, which is our Biotic Balance. Great one, great supplement, easy to take, one capsule twice a day. Perfect way to get your probiotic in. However, oftentimes because of life, because of stress and, your diet and things like that, you're going to use up that good bacteria pretty quickly. And so you might get symptoms like reflux, you might have diarrhea, you may have poor sleep, dry skin, things like that. That's all related to your digestive system. And so it just means that you need to add more good bacteria. So this is a great way to add that good bacteria. It's yummy, and you're getting live. I mean, this is actually live. When you're drinking water kefir and when you're drinking kombucha, that's live bacteria that you're putting into your body. And I know we all have been trained to think, oh, bacteria is bad, but it's not. The good bacteria is actually really good for your body, so you definitely want to add that in. Hey, Frank. So you definitely want to add it in. Brian says here, just started with dairy kefir grains, so why water? Brian, they're both good for you. They're actually both good for you. If you're going to do the dairy kefir, you're going to be using milk, and you really need to use raw milk for that. If you want to make kefir the way that it is intended for your body to be, you really want to be using raw dairy for that. A lot of people don't have access to raw dairy readily. I mean, if you have goats or cows and things like that, or you can get it, it's easy, to make that. However, when you don't have access to that, this is a great way to be able to get those live probiotics in without having to have access to the raw dairy. Now, you can't use the same grains that you use for milk kefir with water kefir. They are two completely separate, different grains. So you need to make sure that you're using the right grain with the right ingredients. So as you can see, my water's clear. It's the sugar's all mixed in. Okay, simple. For those of you just tuning in, we are making water kefir today. I've got 8 cups. I've got 8 cups of filtered water. I added half a cup of organic sugar. This is actually double the recipe, and I have enough grains so that I can make a double recipe. Normally, you know, and I'll show you how many grains that I have. Normally, with a small amount of grains, you want to do 4 cups at a time. Now, here's one of the benefits of water kefir over kombucha. Water kefir only takes 2 days to ferment. Kombucha takes about 2 weeks to be able to ferment and for it to be ready for you. So that's one of the benefits of water kefir. You can make a lot of it quickly and easily. So, and if you are a soda drinker and you want to get off the soda, this is a great way to get off the soda easily. It's going to have, because it's fermented, it's going to be fizzy. You're going to get that carbonation like you get with soda, but you're not going to get all that, the additives and the sugar and things like that. This is a natural drink, and so it's a great substitute. Our coach Kathy, who lives in Pennsylvania, she introduced a lot of us to water kefir, and she makes this. She sells it at her farmer's market, and her kids love it. They love it because it's a great alternative to soda. So if you are looking to get yourself or your children healthier, this might be a good alternative. And you can actually buy, they do make kefir beverages in the store. It's called Kavita. And it is a kefir beverage. You can now get that in the grocery store. So that is one of my favorite easy ways to do it, but I prefer to make my own. So now I've done this. I've got my sugar dissolved in here, and let's go back to the grains for a minute. These are my water kefir grains, and you can see they look a little rubbery, and they feel rubbery. If you touch them, they feel a little bit rubbery. The thing that you want to watch with this, you do not want to put metal in these. They do not like anything metal. So no spoons, no metal strainers. And when I started doing water kefir, I was using, all I had was a metal strainer. So I would just quick strain it and then get them out of the metal strainer into a glass bowl. So make sure that you're not putting these in metal, but you can see that they're, I'm going to pick a couple up here and see if I can bring it in close. You know, they look like, to me, they look like little mini snowflakes. So if you're watching on Facebook, they look like little mini snowflakes. So this is about a half a cup of kefir grains. If you're going to do water kefir with 4 cups of water, you only need about half of this. So, but because I have 8 cups, I'm going to do it in here. Cindy's saying, so plastic strainers, okay. Yeah, Cindy, great. Great. This is one, I got it. I think I got this at Target. Nice little easy plastic strainer. That's a good option. One of the other ones that I have is one like this, you know, really simple. You want to make sure that it's got smaller holes so that when you're going to strain your grains out, that they're not going through the strainer. So, you know, these both work really well. And my grains are nice and healthy, so they're larger because I feed them well. And I'm going to talk about how to make your grains healthier. Brian's asking, I may have missed it, but where are you getting your kefir grains? Well, Brian, I got my kefir grains from one of my coaches. However, there is a great site called Cultures for Health. You can go to their site. They have every culture out there, whether you're making kombucha, water kefir, milk kefir, even for fermented breads like sourdough and rye sourdough. You can get starter grains there for any of these. They're a great site. Realize that these are going to come to you and they're going to be dehydrated, so you have to rehydrate them. And how do you rehydrate them? You make a batch of kefir, and you're going to do like 2 batches of kefir to get them rehydrated. You're not going to drink those first 2 batches that you do. You want to make sure that you're not drinking those first 2 because it's really not going to be true water kefir while you're rehydrating those grains. You've got to get them active. You got to get them eating. So realize these are live. They need to be fed, so they need their sugar. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to just put these in here, and I'll show you in a second. And I just kind of scoot them in there. I know that sounds funny. Yeah, I scoot them out of the bowl into the jar. You want to make sure you're getting them all in there. And it's okay, you know, as long as your hands are clean, it's okay to touch them. You don't want to touch them a lot, but it's okay to touch them. So you can see that they've all kind of sunk down to the bottom. They're all sitting down there, and that's where they're going to stay. Some may rise to the top, some do float, and that's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a lid on this. And this one, unlike the kombucha, you want to put the lid on top of this one. You want to cover this up. so it can do its thing. Now, for me, because life gets busy, and sometimes I forget when I started my kefir, I use a wax pencil, and I will mark the date on the top of my lid. That just helps me remember, because I tend to forget, as Penny and Paula know, I tend to forget things and I get busy with things. So I just mark the date, and then I know when this is going to be done. So in 2 days, this is going to be ready. Now, what I want to show you is I actually have some kefir that's done. And we talked a little bit about second fermentation last week with the kombucha. This is actually done. This is kefir that just finished up. And so I'm going to shake it a little bit. Shake it a little bit. You can, oops, it's fizzing on my computer. I don't want to do that. As you can see, it fizzes a little bit. So this is done, this is a batch of kefir that's done. We talked about a second fermentation last week with the kombucha, and I want to show you how we do the second fermentation, because it's the same with both the kombucha and the water kefir to do a second fermentation. Really easy, really simple. So what I did is I emptied, this was in the bigger jar, and I strained out my grains, and you want to strain out your grains because you just want the liquid in here. So I strained out my grains, and I put it into mason jars. Work great for this. I'm a big proponent of mason jars. And what I did, you can buy organic juice. So Knudsen's, K-N-U-D-S-E-N, is a great juice that you can use for these because they have organic juices. And you want organic juice when you're going to flavor this. But I happen to have some watermelon juice. So I'm going to make watermelon kefir. So I juiced up my watermelon, and this is, fresh juiced watermelon. And I have it, this is the color when the kefir is done. I'm going to just put in about 1/4 cup. So it just colors it a little bit. Oh, and it smells really yummy. I wish we had smell-o-vision on here. So I just poured in a little bit, just enough to flavor it. Now, this is going to sit on my counter for 2 days. And that's going to do the second fermentation. So because there's already live probiotics in this water kefir, it's going to ferment this very easily. It's going to ferment the sugar out of that watermelon juice, and it's going to make this fizzier. It's going to make it actually fizzier, so it's going to fizz up when you pour it. So after 2 days, if you're not going to drink it right away, you want to put it in the fridge. You actually want to put it in the fridge. It will get a little bit fizzier as it sits in your fridge, but you do not want to leave this out on the counter more than 2 days. Put it in your fridge, get it nice and cold. It's so yummy when you drink it that way. Okay. Now, we talked about this last week, and I will caution you. If you forget about these sitting on your counter and they ferment, what happens when they ferment? The pressure is going to build up in here. The pressure is going to build up in this mason jar. So you want to release that lid so you can release that pressure from there. And you're going to hear it. It's going to go, just like when you take the top off a bottle of soda, or you open a can of soda, you're going to hear that little psh. Well, you're going to hear that when you loosen this, okay? So that pressure can build up enough to blow the top off of this. So that's why I'm telling you, after 2 days, and date the top of them so you know, or put a sticky note on the top of it so you know. If you let it sit long enough on that countertop, this can blow the top off. And I speak from experience, and I will tell you why. Let me show you why. I have picked up a lot of bottles like this, and I'll often put my kefir into bottles like this, just because it's pretty and it's nice and it looks nice sitting in my fridge and makes me want to drink it. However, when you have a small bottle like this, that pressure is going to build up. I have had a bottle explode on me. So fortunately, nobody was in the kitchen. It was a huge mess, but it will, it can explode. It doesn't happen real often, but I just encourage you, put a note, sticky note on, date it, whatever you want to do to remember to put it in the fridge. Once you put it in the fridge, it's going to be fine. I have not had anything explode in the fridge, so it's fine. By putting it in the fridge, you kind of you stop that fermentation process, so the pressure is not going to keep building up. However, like I talked about with kombucha last night, do not shake this. Do not shake this. The same thing that happens with a soda is going to happen with this. It's good. The pressure's going to build up and it's going to fizz all over. You know, when you buy KeVita in the store, when you buy kombucha in the store, there may be sedimentation in the bottom. That's normal. That's perfectly normal. That is your good bacteria in the bottom. I think I have one that's got a little, yeah, this one's got a little sedimentation. You can see that it's got some sedimentation in the bottom. That's normal. That's all that good bacteria. Do not shake this. Do not. If you don't like it sitting in the bottle, pour this from here into a glass. It'll kind of mix itself, but don't shake it. Don't shake it. So second fermentation, I'm doing watermelon today. So I did just a little pour, you know, maybe an 1/8 of a cup of juice in here. This is going to sit on the counter for 2 days, and then it's going to be ready to go. It's going to be yummy watermelon kefir. You can do things like lemon, pineapple. I've done apple cinnamon. So you can use apple, you know, freshly juiced apples and put a cinnamon stick in there. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've done vanilla. If you can get organic vanilla, I've done organic vanilla. Vanilla kefir is amazing. There's so many flavors that you can do. And just about anything that you can juice, you can flavor your kefir with. So try out different combinations. That's what I say. Coming into fall, some of my favorite ones are the apple cinnamon, the vanilla. I've even done cinnamon vanilla, where I'll put a cinnamon stick in there when I do some organic vanilla. So amazing. So amazing. So try out some of these recipes. I will tell you that if you're using pineapple juice, something about pineapple juice, it ferments very fast. That second fermentation is very fast. So, you know, watch the pressure, release the pressure on those lids if you're going to do pineapple. There's just, I think, believe the sugar content in pineapple that it really ferments fast in that second fermentation. So first fermentation with water kefir, you're going to do, this is a double batch. So there's 8 cups of filtered water, a 1/2 cup of organic sugar, shake that up until the sugar's dissolved. Put your kefir grains in the bottom. They're in the bottom, you can see them down there. Let that sit on your counter for 2 days. After 2 days, you're going to strain out those grains, and you're going to pour your kefir. If you want to drink your kefir then, you can. You absolutely can. Or you can flavor it and do a second fermentation. So you're going to use organic juice for about 1/8 of a cup in with your kefir. Let it sit on the counter for 2 more days. So in 4 days, you should have a flavored batch of kefir. It's amazing. It's a great substitute for soda, and I encourage you, try it out, see what you think about it. I love it. If you want to try it before you start brewing your own, KeVita makes a great kefir product. They've got some fantastic flavors. They've got a lime mojito, and they have a ginger lemon. They've got a ginger lemon cayenne, all kinds of different flavors. So try that out. And it's the same thing with the kombucha. They've got great flavors, and there's so many different brands of kombucha. You just want to make sure that it's raw, that it's not been pasteurized to make it shelf stable. So let's jump into some questions here. If you're watching and you want to drop me some questions, I'll answer your questions first. Brian here says, he says, as far as nutritional information, using a 1/4 cup of juice, approximately how many grams of sugar is in the second fermentation of the kefir? Good question, Brian. Remember, you're doing a second fermentation, so you're fermenting it. So even in this kefir here, which I haven't added any juice to, this is actually live kefir. There is live probiotic in here. Even though the grains are not in here, the live probiotics are embedded in here. They will eat up the sugar that you're putting in from the juice. So when you taste this, when you taste your kefir, don't expect it to be sweet like soda. It is not sweet like soda. You're going to taste the flavor of the juice. You're going to get that flavor, but the sugar is not going to be there. It's going to have, to me with kombucha, even when you flavor it, it still has a very tart flavor to it, kind of almost a vinegary taste. I find the same thing with kefir. Kefir, to me, water kefir has, I I don't want to say beer because it's not like beer, but it's like a fermented, if you've ever had a fermented drink, it tastes a lot like a fermented drink. You're going to get that kind of that yeasty, for anybody, if you've ever had, tasted beer, it's kind of got a yeasty flavor to it. Am I right on that, Penny and Paula? Is that what you taste when you do water kefir?
Yeah, I was looking for the right word, but yeasty is I think describes it best.
Yeah. That would be what I would say is, this would say it's not the, it's not the taste of beer like you get the hops and everything else, but you will taste that yeastiness to it, and that's okay. Remember, this is good yeast. This is all good for your body, so this is a good thing. Okay. Let's jump to a couple questions here because we had some good questions here this morning, and I love answering your questions. So. I know that we had questions about, hold on one second here, it's making me sign back in. Bear with me 1 second, folks. Okay. I know we get questions quite frequently about what are our options. You know what? We have so many options for you. You can join our membership. We have a beautiful, beautiful new membership site, which is up and live and running, and I'm really excited about it. You can come check us out at members.fitlife.tv. We'd love to have you come join the membership. That's actually where I started as a client back in 2013. We've got great courses in there for you. Lots of fun things to do in there. We also have our coaching program. We have different levels on our coaching program. We have detox programs. We have a group coaching program. We have private coaching. And, our newest thing is our detox programs. And those are custom menus for you based on what your goals are. And it's really exciting that we have this to offer. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute here. One of the questions that came to dear and near in my heart came from Jean this morning, who said, I'm in a wheelchair with little hope of exercise. Can I still have a successful transformation? Jean, yes, absolutely. Yes, you can. And I am passionate about this program for that reason. Because when I came to Fit Life, I was housebound, I was chairbound, I was in a recliner most days because I was recovering from a knee replacement that didn't go well. So I lost 80 pounds just adjusting my nutrition. I have kept that weight off for the last 2 years, and amazing changes have happened in my body. So yes, you can find success with this program. I do recommend that if you are facing those kind of challenges, you do reach out to us. Oftentimes when you're having those kinds of challenges, it's best to have a coach who's going to keep you accountable. But yes, absolutely, you can find your own transformation, and you're going to find that your body is going to respond very favorably to this program. What we're going to do is we're going to get you off the processed foods, things like dairy, gluten, soy, sugar, alcohol, caffeine, and we're going to get you eating whole foods, lots of lean, clean, whole foods, along with juicing. And we're going to teach you ways that you can move your body. We've had many, many people who have started with us who couldn't move at all, or who ended up with injuries and couldn't move. Just even sitting in a chair and being able to move your upper body, whatever it takes, and we will work with you. We like to meet our clients right where they're at, right where you're at, right here, right now. So we don't expect you to be at a certain point before you can find success with our program. And the one thing that's unique about our program here at Fit Life, it is completely customizable. So no matter what your goal is, whether you're looking for weight loss, whether you're looking for optimal health, whether you're looking for lean muscle mass, we can customize the program for you and help you to implement it into your life right where you're at right now. Even maybe you've lost a bunch of weight and you're in metabolic disrepair. So maybe you kind of starved yourself down to where you've gotten, and you're in what we call, like to refer to as that skinny fat mode, where if you checked your body fat, you'd have a really high percentage of body fat, but yet you're thin, and you don't know how to get rid of that excess body fat that's just hanging out there. We can help you with that. We can help you, rev up that metabolism, get that going again so that you can get away from that being skinny fat and actually get to optimal health with that. Karen says, absolutely. Karen, we've helped Karen with her rheumatoid arthritis. She's doing amazing, amazing things. So no matter where you're at, our program can definitely help you and guide you through to your own personal transformation. And one of the things that's unique about our program here at FitLife is we don't just work on nutrition. This is not a diet. This is absolutely not a diet. This is a lifestyle change. There is no magic pill, powder, or potion that is going to get you results that are going to stay. No matter what anybody out there says, there is no magic pill or powder or potion. Eventually, you're going to have to stop doing whatever that is, and the weight is going to slowly creep back on. Whereas here at FitLife, we're going to teach you how to make that whole lifestyle change. We're going to work on your mindset, how you view food, how you look at food, how you go out to restaurants, how you do family dinners, all of these pieces, how to go on vacation and find success. We have one of our coaches who started with us. In her first 2 weeks on the program, she's on a cruise, and she lost weight on her cruise and had a fabulous time. So no matter where you're at, we can work with you and we can get you the success that you're looking for. And we're going to teach you how to fuel your body, how to feed your body properly with amazing, amazing, delicious food. And this is not boxed meals. There are no processed meals here. This is all whole, natural food. And nothing that takes a very long time to prepare. Very easy and delicious, amazingly delicious. And whether you eat meat or whether you're a vegan, we have a program for you. It doesn't matter where you're at. We'll meet you right where you're at, and we'll have options for everyone. So not a problem with that. So Jean, I definitely encourage you to reach out to me. I will be reaching out to you as well, and let's get you, moving forward. We'll find you some success with this. Jennifer says, how much rest should I give my muscles when they are sore? Good question, Jennifer. Well, number one, when you have sore muscles, the worst thing that you can do is not move them. The reason you get sore muscles is because you get lactic acid buildup in those muscles. So you need to get that lactic acid out of those muscles. So things like massage, foam rolling, stretching, all very good for removing the lactic acid out of those muscles. Say you've done a major workout. Prime example, I did a hike 2 weeks ago, 8-mile hike. My body was aching. I did several things that really helped with that. Number one, Epsom salt soaks baths. Just plain old, get a bag of Epsom salts from your drugstore. I think they're like $2 for a big bag. Put a good cup of Epsom salts in a nice warm bath, soak in that for 15 to 20 minutes. I'm telling you, it will help with that muscle soreness. The magnesium that's in the Epsom salts will help with that muscle soreness and help to pull that lactic acid out of those muscles. Water. Hydrate, 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 hydrate. I can never say it enough. And if you don't have your water sitting right next to you, it should be there all the time. You should always have water with you. 80 to 120 ounces of water per day is what you should be consuming. And this is what your body needs to be properly hydrated. Some of the other things that you can add in, L-glutamine. L-glutamine is a natural anti-inflammatory. It will help with soreness. It will help with stiff joints. It is a great natural supplement for helping with soreness. And if you're arthritic, any of that L-glutamine is a great thing to add in. One of the other things that you'll often hear us talk about here at FitLife is BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. They're great for post-workout. They're great for sugar cravings, but they contain L-glutamine. And so they help with those sore muscles, and it's great for post-workout. So lots of things that you can do to alleviate that post-workout soreness. Here's a great one from Brian. Brian says, how can Organifi and juicing help me control diabetes? Brian, it's probably the best thing that you can do. If you're looking to control or eliminate your diabetes, this program is incredible for that. Merely by getting yourself onto consuming whole foods, into juicing. Now, granted, if you're going to juice, you're not going to be doing the high sugar juices because you want to be watching your blood sugars, but the green juices are amazing. And the more you remove the inflammatory foods from your body, The more that you focus in on getting enough water, moving your body, whatever that looks like for you, you're going to find that your diabetes is going to oftentimes be go into remission. We've had many clients who are no longer on medication for their diabetes, and they're actually, their physicians have looked at them and said, you're in remission from your diabetes. So yes, our program can definitely help you with that. We have several coaches here at FitLife who have alleviated their diabetes just by changing the way they eat. So we really do focus in on nutrition here at FitLife, and we want to help you find that optimal health. If you are, looking for the right program for you, I encourage you, please reach out. My coaching team and I would love to help you find the right program for you. No matter what your budget is, we have something for you. We absolutely have something for you. So we have lots of different options. We've got detox options. We've got our custom detox plans. We've got coaching in a variety of levels. So I encourage you, please reach out. You can email here at FitLife. It's Jill, Jill, at fitlife.tv. Reach out to us. We'd love to have a conversation with you. And yes, we will get on the phone with you and have a conversation with you. I love talking with different clients, and let's see what we can find for you. Let's see what options we can find for you. So if you are ready to move forward and you want something simple to just get started, you want to try this out, I invite you to try our custom detox programs. You get 4 weeks of menus. They are customized to you. We're going to ask you lots of questions when you enroll. They're going to be customized to you. You are going to have to report into us on a weekly basis, but that's going to get you customizations each week. So it's a great program, great way to get started. If you are, not sure what you want to do or how to move forward, reach out. Let's get you moving forward with this. You have several different options with that, and I'd love to have a conversation with you. So please feel free to reach out, email me, and let's connect. Let's see how we can help you. So our goal here at FitLife is, to change people's lives and help them transform. And it's possible. Every one of my panelists sitting on this call with me has gone through their own transformation. Many of you who are watching, especially on Facebook, are FitLife members, and you've gone through various transformations yourself. You've done a lot of great work in your life. And so realize that this is not a fad diet. This is a lifestyle change, and we want to help you change your life. So anything can happen. Reach out. I look forward to hearing from you. We'll be back next week with another demonstration. We'll have an update on the kombucha next week. That should be done by next week. And we'll have some great water kefir for you. So see you next week. If you have questions that I didn't get answered, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, my email address here at FitLife is Jill, Jill, at fitlife.tv. And we will see you guys next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.